Have I ever flashed my Instagram to a girl at a bar? Well, what is going on YouTube? If you don't know who I am, my name is Brandon Dion, and thank you for stopping by my channel. Most of the people that watch my videos here on YouTube don't actually know who I am because they don't know me from Instagram, because here on YouTube I tend to talk about Instagram, and on Instagram itself I play guitar and that's what I'm known for. You can find me at Brandondeonmusic. Anyway guys, so in this video I'm gonna tell you what it's actually like to be Instagram famous, and it's not what you think it is. So it's gonna be really dark at the end of this video because it's already getting kind of dark out, and yeah, so just scroll to the end and just, I don't give a fuck if you do it or not. Anyway, okay, let's get started. Let's get into the goddamn video already. Okay, I got my list here that I prepared for this video, and the first thing that I was going to talk about is what is my day actually like? Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying that I'm not a huge Instagram influencer, okay? On December 12th, 2018, I have about 73.8 thousand followers, and I've been growing my page since November of 2017. I was on Instagram before that, but it was November 2017 where I really started to like post consistently every day. I mean, almost every day. And yeah, so in the past year, I've really been living that Instagram kind of lifestyle, you know, always making content, you know, making the stories and just trying to stay up on things, right? So I don't actually make a lot of money from Instagram because throughout the past year, I've been trying to build my name, get people to learn who the hell I actually am, and, you know, just build brand. And, you know, I haven't been chasing money because I want people to like me and respect me, because I know that they'll be more likely to buy from me later as long as they like me. So many months ago, when I was really getting heavy into Instagram, I was still working 4 shifts a week. It was basically full-time work, although technically it was part-time, so I didn't really have a whole lot of extra time to spend on making Instagram videos. And it was kind of in the winter because it was November, and here in Canada, where I live in Nova Scotia, it tends to get dark out in the winter very early. Like right now it's only, let's see what time it is. Right now it's only 3:30 p.m. and it's starting to get dark out right now. And it's just the winter. By 4:30 p.m. it's probably going to be quite dark. This video will probably be over by then anyway. But so I would go to work during the day and I wouldn't really be able, like, I could film a video at night, but I didn't really care to because it was so dark out. I was hesitant to film this video because I like my videos to actually have a lot of lights and have everything be clear. So yeah, I wouldn't really record videos at night, but I would practice because my niche is guitar playing. So I would use the night to practice things and prepare video ideas, you know, write things out and practice things so that I could film things on my day off. And then when I actually did have days off, I would film about 2 or 3 videos, as many as I could, and try and get myself through the week. Eventually though, I was able to drop down to part-time. So I still have that job. I work for Coca-Cola, fun fact. And I still do that on the weekends. And I don't really post on Instagram on the weekends because I work all day and then it's dark out and I just don't post. Plus, you know, for a very long time I was posting consistently every day, and I just, it's so much. Like, it's easy to get burnt out. So like, now I only post 5 days a week and I like it. But anyway, now that I only work part-time, on the weekends, I have a lot more time to actually create videos. So that's the first thing I do when I get up every day is I wake up at 7 a.m. and I go have a shower and eat breakfast, and then I immediately start recording videos. Like I start practicing and preparing a video, and usually I'll have it done by lunchtime, by like 12 p.m. And if it takes longer than that, then I get pissed off. I don't like it to take longer than that, but sometimes it does. It's just the way it goes. And then I'll work on it tomorrow. But generally past 12 p.m. I don't work on Instagram content for my main page anymore. But yeah, so I do that 5 days a week, you know, Monday to Friday. I'm waking up 7 a.m. and starting my day with an Instagram with some sort of idea, and then filming it and just, you know, going at it. Coming out with new content is kind of hard, but it's not really impossible because I'm always studying other accounts in my niche. I'm always seeing what has gone viral for them and just finding a way to, you know, copy it and kind of remix it in my own way. So as long as other creators keep creating, I'm gonna be able to keep creating, thankfully, because I can just steal their content. And the best steal, it's true. Like, when I was in music school, like, our professors actually used to say, good composers do something and then whatever, the best composers steal. So it's totally okay to steal ideas. But yeah, my day is, it's very structured. There's a lot of routine, and I think it's really important to have routine because I don't want Instagram to be my everything. And for a while, it kind of has been, and it still kind of is to some extent, but like, I have other things going on. In a day, like, I would record a video and that would be the only thing that I would do all day. And I knew that wasn't sustainable, and I had to find a system to actually keep things organized. And I think that a lot of Instagram influencers are very academic. In order to be one, you have to be academic. Like, you have to have a good structured routine, and you don't want to break that. Even though I break it sometimes, I mean, I'm a human, I guess. But I think to have that foundation there is very important because you need a system in place. Because if you don't have a system, well, it's easier to like fuck things up. But yeah, like a lot of the Instagram influencers that I know like have the way that they do things. I mean, I do things my own way, but some people I know record all their videos in one day and then they work on other stuff. See, with my niche, like playing guitar, I have to have something prepared. I can't just sit in front of my camera and talk, which kind of sucks. But so my videos take a little bit of time to make, so I just prefer the like daily kind of make a new video per day and then concentrate on something else. It doesn't take the entire day to make a video anyway. I say I like to go till 12, but you know, sometimes I'll finish a video by 10 a.m. and I'll work on something else. So with that time that's after 12 p.m., that's when I'm using that time to work on other things, like looking at my calendar over here, you know, Patreon, like I just created a Patreon page. So like I've been working on that. I'll work on things to sell, like products and ebooks. I just finished an ebook there. It's called A Lot of Scales. Some of you guys might have bought it or gotten it for free if you sign up for my mailing list. But so that's what I'll do in the afternoon. And then I eat supper, and then I try to work a little bit more until like 9:30 p.m. Then I like to go to the gym, that kind of stuff, you know. Very structure oriented and routine based is how I like to do things. And the number 2 thing I wrote down on my list here about being Instagram famous is I get to meet people and like make friends with people that are all like global, and it's really cool. I made a handful of friends who I know that if I needed a place to stay, I would be like, hey, I'm in town, can I stay at your place? And they would be like, sure, like I'd love to have you here. And that actually happened to me once. I was visiting a buddy who lives in Toronto. I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. He lives in Toronto, Canada. So I was going to meet him and hang out with him for the weekend. It was gonna be sick, but he couldn't pick me up from the airport because he was at work. But I actually had a friend who I met on Instagram who lived nearby, and he picked me up from the airport, and like we had never met before that. Like I taught him guitar, and you know, I gave him lessons and he paid me to teach him, and we became friends, and he picked me up, and you know, we hung out that day. And so the trip was cool because I got to meet a new friend who I met online, and I obviously got to hang out with my old friend and catch up with him, and it was a good time. And I really find that the people you meet online are just so, like, it's so cool because you know them, because you get to watch their stories and stuff and kind of learn who they are. And then you get to hang out with them in person. It's like you've known each other for so long. It's really cool. And you know, it's 2018. I feel like a lot of friendships are being formed that way. And even more are going to be formed that way. The downside about Instagram is you actually start to hate your craft, man. Like, you start to hate what it is that you're posting about. Like, the reason that somebody even tries to become an Instagram influencer or a fucking YouTuber influencer of any sort, man, is because they're passionate about something and they want to share that passion and they want to make that passion their full-time job and get paid for it and just live a happy life. Well, Let me tell you that you start to hate it after a bit, you know? Like, sometimes I don't want to play guitar, man. Like, I'm happy working on an ebook on my laptop. And I'm way happier doing that than I am playing guitar some days. It's weird, but that's just the way it goes, and it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you will start to hate it if you're doing it every day, all the time. Like, so you gotta, like, take some space, distance yourself from it a little bit. I mean, if you really love it, then you don't have to do it that much, but like, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've spent extreme amounts of effort on one thing. You will need to take a break from it, because I love playing guitar, but sometimes I feel pressured to like play and practice or something, and that's no fun. Like, it's just like a day job. And of course, it's easy for me to say that, like, becoming famous online for anything is, I mean, I'm not that famous, but like, it's very hard to do. And of course, from your seat, or if you're not famous, if you're not famous and you're sitting there at your laptop right now and you're like, man, fuck this guy, like, you know how cool that would be to be Instagram famous, or like famous on the internet for something that I love? And I mean, yeah, the grass is always greener on the other side. I totally get that. But it's like any day job, right? Like, you have to put in work, and the work is not always the most fun, but I mean, it sure beats the hell out of working for somebody else, and that I can say with confidence. But don't think that it's like always just a fun time, because it does take work. You got to be disciplined, and you have to be extremely disciplined and stick to the work that you need to do to move yourself forward. Otherwise, you can just lose your audience like that. Algorithms are ruthless. They don't give a shit about you. They just give a shit about making money on their platform. So if you're helping them do that, then they love you, but if you're not, then fuck you. Okay, so this is a super funny one, and it's like, my parents' generation has no fucking idea, man. They have no idea what it is that I do, and they're like, I try to explain that to them, and some do, some know what I'm talking about. My dad, like, I don't even think he really knows what Instagram is, man. Like, and obviously I live in an apartment with my roommates. Like, I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm 23 years old, I moved out and all that. And yeah, it's just funny trying to explain to people what Instagram is and how I actually use it to make a little bit of money, but I just make videos all day. And I remember this one situation, I was trying to do Instagram for a client. Like, it was for free, because I was trying to gain client experience so I can, get a testimonial from them and show it to other people that would hire me to manage their Instagram accounts. And it was so funny because I explained everything to them, and they're like, okay, I understand. They barely spoke English, so I never should have done it in the first place. But anyway, so I was doing it for free, and then one of their, I think it was their accountants, he also, English wasn't his first language, and he came into the room. It was a pizza place, actually. He came into the pizza place and he said, ah, yes, he shook my hand. And he's like, Brandon, you come to revamp our website. It's like, they think I'm a web developer, man. Like, I'm not gonna redo your goddamn website. Like, it's not the same shit, okay? Number 5 is you always kind of feel pressured to make stories and just make content in general, because you want to stay on the platform, because you want to be very active on the platform for the most part. I mean, some people can get away with like never being active. I hate those people. I'm always feeling pressured to like, walk around with my phone and make stories and, just make video content to put on the platform. It's no longer just a habit, because it takes on average 30 days to build a habit. And I've been doing that I've been doing this for way more than 30 days at this point. And it takes on average 90 days to create a routine. So this has become so routine for me that I feel anxious, like I feel stressed out if I don't make content. And that's kind of like a downside that comes with the entire thing. But it's not as bad as what I'm about to talk to you guys about. And that is the amount of stupid people and just like idiots that send me random DMs, man. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy receiving DMs that are nice and thoughtful and, you know, people like, you know, being nice. But to my surprise, a lot of people will send DMs that are kind of selfish and are kind of annoying. And the thing is, like, I don't think that these people realize that they're being like annoying, right? Because think about whenever you message somebody that's famous on Instagram. Like, do you message them because you want to thank them or you love their stuff and you're just telling them that? If so, that's great. I love you. But a lot of people will message people that are Instagram famous and they'll say they'll want something from them. And it's like, okay, hold up. They don't owe you anything, man. Like, they don't even know who you are. You're just a random stranger on the internet. Like, you know them because they've made themselves present online, like they have an online presence and they're talking, like they chose that lifestyle, but they don't know you. I feel like some people forget about that. They don't know who you are. They don't know you exist, so why are they going to do a favor that you're about to ask for them? Like, a really common one is shoutouts. Like, people will say, hey, can you give me a shoutout? And that actually doesn't happen to me too much, but a lot of people will ask me to teach them something on guitar, and it's like, okay, I mean, I get it. I get that you want to like learn something, right? And that's cool. But you know, these people that have created this online following, they tend to, you know, like I said, I have routines and like be very organized, detailed, oriented. You know, they have structured lives and stuff, and they're busy. Like they're not gonna just drop everything and tend to what you want, and they're not being mean. If anything, you're the one who's being selfish because you're kind of just saying, hey, fuck what you do, I don't care. Now pay attention to me and my problems, right? So I really hate messages like, give me this, or like, especially when they don't even use their goddamn manners, man. When they don't even use manners, it's like, just give me this. Like, give me this tab. So annoying DMs are just part of it, and you know, it's a pretty common one that people talk about. Yeah, so if you're trying to become Instagram famous, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but you know, you are gonna get swamped with those. So expect it. Okay, so number 6 is, this is an interesting one, right? Like, so what is life like for me around people in real life? What do they think when they find, if they don't know me, what do they think when they find out that I have 73,000 followers? Do they think it's cool? Well, it depends. Like, yes, so a lot of people, like, I've gotten some responses and people are just like, holy shit, like, and that's my favorite. I really like hearing that reaction, especially I find when people that know me but they don't really know what's going on in my life, like for example, friends from high school or something, and I see them in years and, you know, I show them what I've been up to and they're just like, that's always fun. Have I ever flashed my Instagram to a girl at a bar? Well, yes, I have. It's so much fun. Like, it's not what you think, because a lot of people, like, some girls are super, like, impressed by it, and their jaw drops, so like, oh, because they're not expecting that, and to see it, they're just, they're definitely surprised. But I've never, like, really, it's never really made a difference in, like, helping me hook up with a girl or not, you know? Like, they think it's cool, but not even all of them do. Like, some people just, they don't even care. It's like, some girls, like, they don't care at all, and, you know, it's just, some girls have actually found me very cocky because I talked about that, and I mean, I'm amazing, so I really don't know what they're talking about. Truth time, I've actually even used Instagram to, like, I've DM'd girls, like, in my city. Like, I don't know who they are, I just, you know, they came up on my Explore page. I've DM'd them on Instagram using, obviously, my own page, and I've said, hey, and, like, started a conversation, you know, slid into the DMs and, you know, tried to, you know, go on dates with them just by doing that. Has it ever worked? Well, no. It's gotten me numbers, like their phone numbers and stuff, and like usually like nothing really comes of it, but having a lot of followers doesn't really help in that department. I mean, it's cool, but I feel like you could also do it if you had, like, say 500 followers and you're just like a super handsome guy, you know, kind of like myself. Another thing about you know, in real life is, like, sometimes when I want to make stories, like, I kind of feel uncomfortable doing it, you know, in certain areas, like in certain situations. You know, it's fine when I'm here in my room. I might want to make a story like out in public somewhere, and I feel a little bit awkward talking to my camera and, well, talking to my phone. Some people just think I'm on a phone call or something, which is great. But yeah, sometimes it can feel a little bit awkward doing that. And I'm also very conscious of what I put onto my Instagram story, because I don't want my followers to hate me, and I don't want to like scare them all off. So I try to find a really good balance. So I'm very particular with what I'll actually allow to be in there. But it's not like a drunk night out. Like when people get drunk and like post their Snapchat stories, like I don't do that with my Instagram story, because like it looks kind of bad. But yeah, anyway. Okay, so this is actually a really cool thing about being Instagram famous. And that's, you know, you get a lot of messages, and people just, you know, they tell you stories, and like they tell you positive stories of how what you do and what you've done has positively impacted their life in some way. The biggest one for me is, like I said, I just recently released an ebook, and I gave it away to a bunch of people for free, and they'll send me these long messages or even emails and say like, hey, like this is super cool, like you've helped me in this way, I'm very appreciative. And that's always great, like just knowing that. And that's kind of really what you think of when you think about it. That's kind of what somebody who influences someone, like that's what it is. Like that's the definition. Like somebody who has positively impacted somebody and like influenced their life through Instagram. Like that's what an Instagram influencer is. So that's definitely one of the cool things that comes with it. It's hard to keep reinventing yourself, and people have a lifespan, you know, like you're not gonna be, most people have a lifespan as a creator. They don't last forever. I mean, of course there are exceptions to this rule, like look at PewDiePie, for example. He's been around forever and he's only continuing to grow. Like he's doing things right. But with some people, a lot of people will run out of ideas, and they won't be able to maintain the audience that they've created, because they find that they're constantly trying to outdo themselves. They're trying to outdo what they've already done to attract even more followers. And then their followers that have seen the stuff that they did when they were smaller, it's like, okay, that was cool. And now they're seeing the bigger things, and they're like, oh, okay, that's like even cooler. So then when the creator goes back to doing things that are easier and maybe less cool, everybody that followed them for that original thing is going to drop off or stop paying attention to them, because they aren't interested in what they're doing if it's, you know, less than what their last video was. Does that make sense? I don't really feel like that makes sense. If you actually think about it, who are some of the biggest YouTubers that have been around recently? Logan Paul comes to mind, and if you actually go to his channel, you'll notice that he's losing a lot of views. Like he was getting, you know, close to 6 million views per vlog for a while there, but now it seems like he's only getting 2 million views per video, and he's just like, he's getting less and less views. And I mean, he has a lot of other things that he's doing that, you know, it's not YouTube, that isn't YouTube related. But as far like this video is about being an online creator, so in that regard he actually is dropping off. Like his online presence is not as strong as it once was, and it's because everybody has a lifespan, you know. And everybody tends to have a peak. Like I like to think that I haven't had my peak yet, because I'm still such a small creator. But yeah, hopefully when that peak does come, hopefully I can actually maintain it for a while at least. And if not, hopefully I can have something else going on that will like absorb the impact of like that spike of traffic. So yeah, that's probably the most important thing to be aware of, that if you're trying to become an online personality, is that you need to be prepared to, designate a lot of your time to it, and know that you may not be around forever and you might get burnt out. But if you push through that, like I'm only a year into it, so hopefully I've got another few years in me. But just that's something to be aware of, because Dr. Dre actually once said, you gotta work extra hard to get the attention, but you gotta work twice as hard to maintain it. And I found that to be true, and with what I'm doing online at least. But yeah, so there are 9 truths of what it's actually like to be Instagram famous. It feels kind of weird saying that. I don't really feel like it's true, but so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a little bit long. Remember at the start of the video when I told you that it's going to be a lot darker toward the end? Well, was I right? Like, look how dark it is in here now. And it's only 4 p.m., man. Like, it's 4. Like, I quit. This is stupid. Yeah, but anyway, guys, if you watched to the end of this video, I super appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. Did I mention that I'm on Instagram? Probably not.